Hey everyone, this is Andrew at Plainview Farm, and in today's video, we're going to do a little bit of Ozark engineering. Specifically, we've got to get this bale spear, which is a 3-point bale spear that has been used on the back of a pickup. We're going to try to get it mounted onto the bucket of the Farmall M. And I have laying out here in the bucket some of the hardware that I'm going to be using, and as we go along here, hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to do. And this here is what I like to think of as I guess a redesign. I used this before, this setup. I used this setup last year and used it all winter to feed hay. But I did not have the bottom of the bale spear secured, at least not very well. I use a top link at the top up here to hold it in position. And then I just kind of strapped it on, so to speak, down here at the bottom. Well, this time I'm going to try to make it a little bit secure. And I want to, I guess, issue a warning of sorts here. Or I guess maybe I should call it a disclaimer, which is if you are not a licensed, certified Ozark engineer, as I am, then maybe you should speak to someone who is before you tackle a project like this. Naturally, there are a lot of folks out there that are concerned about safety, and you know, that's a good thing to be concerned about. And I'm sure some of those folks may not like the way that I do this, but again, I am a licensed, certified Ozark engineer. Okay, as I mentioned, I've got some hardware already sitting in the bucket of the tractor that I plan to use to try to secure the bottom of this bale spear to keep it from flopping and moving around on us. And actually, if you look down here, this is where we're going to try to secure it, right there where it would go onto a 3-point arm, where it would mount onto a 3-point arm. Have a pretty heavy duty bolt in there, and the way that these are going to work is these are just hooks. They're rated for about 500 pounds a piece, which they don't need to be able to support that, because really all they're going to be doing is just kind of holding it in place so that it doesn't, you know, jostle around. These really aren't going to be bearing much weight at all. So these are going to go through the bucket right here, and they will hook on to that bolt right there, and then I'll be able to tighten it down in order to get it, you know, good and tight, I guess. So now, before I started the video here, I did drill a pilot hole in the bucket. So now we just need to take our larger bit and we're going to drill the larger hole. And this, you know, we're not going to get too wild, too aggressive. We're just going to try to take our time, take it slow and easy. It's not getting too hot at all. It's actually working pretty good. Smoke you're seeing there is from the oil. Still doing all right. And there's one hole. Got a little more oil on the bit. Now we'll do the second one. Swap out the battery, because the batteries are old and the drill likes to eat them. There we go. Okay, so the way that this is going to work, at least in my head, that drops down through there like I said before, and we put tension on it from behind and put a washer on, and then we will tighten it down with a nut, and then we'll add a second nut on there to, I guess, kind of like a jam nut to hold everything in place. So now, in order to spare my back a little bit, I'm gonna fire up the tractor and drop it down. We'll set the bale spear on there, get the top link, you know, kind of in place, and then lift it up and secure the bottom of it. Slide my hardware over here out of the way. So last year I used a much larger top link. I went and bought a short one this year, you know, to make the job a little bit easier. Ish, hopefully. Uh-oh. I think this will work. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, let me make sure that this is where I want it. Now we'll shut off the tractor. May have to rethink my top link. That may not quite be what I was expecting it to be. Anyway, as I was saying, drop our hook, first one, into place. And the second. Put on our washer. And the first nut here. Thread the second one on there if I can get it started. Now, I'll tighten this down, like I said, use this like a jam nut. And now we crank down on the old jam nut. There. And this side. All right, now it looks to be quite secure on the front of the bucket. Only question now is that top link. Not real happy with how that turned out. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, at least for the time being, until I can come up with a better solution. I'm going to pull this pin out of there, simply because I don't want the bail riding on this right here, on that pin. Don't want that. So I'm going to pull this pin out, and I'm going to replace it. I'm going to use a bolt for now, which is actually what I did previously. Used a bolt, and that worked fine. But the whole idea here is to give ourselves a little less wiggle room. I thought that this thing would be enough, but apparently it's not. So like I said, I used the bolt before. Use the bolt again this time. At least to get the job done. I gotta go pick up some hay today, so that's actually why we're doing this. So where we can potentially get into trouble, and I'm being serious here, is if this starts flopping around. You know, that's when things can start breaking. Which these bales that I'm getting, they're not, you know, too big. They're not, you know, huge. So we should be okay. All right, so there we go. Now we are ready to move some round bales of hay. All right, like I said, that'll do for now. 30 bales is what I need. I'm going to try to put 3 rows of 10 right here. Are heavy bales.